I did.
I unmuted us too early again. Someday I'll get better at it. Hi, my name's Shawn Taylor. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. And welcome back for week 3 of the Everybender ranked extravaganza. This week we are on to Earthbenders. Chris, by this time the Lakers have almost certainly been eliminated from the playoffs. How do you feel?
You know, I don't like to curse, but I almost said "F you, Shawn."
um, Chris, any actual changes in your life in the past 5 minutes since I stopped recording the previous episode?
No.
Fantastic. Mine either. You know what? I suppose by the time you watch this, I will have gone to Omaha last week for like a mini trip. So hopefully that's fun. I'm gonna say
you've been doing a lot.
Yeah,
That's been active.
All over the map in like April through June, going crazy for no apparent reason. But not no apparent reason. We keep thinking like, all right, well, eventually we're just gonna like have foster kid, and then we won't be able to do stuff. We keep doing stuff, and then we still have foster kids. It's like, well, I guess we'll just keep doing stuff. Question mark? But it's good. So yeah, hopefully by the time you watch this, I had a good time in Omaha. But Chris, we got a longer list, so I'm gonna say let's jump into Earthbenders. So far, our disclaimer has been it's not like strictly a one-on-one fighting type of thing. We're going for overall prowess, big picture. And then number 2 is that Chris did a very diligent job of only lining up notable benders of that type. So not literally every bender that you can spot in the show, notable benders.
Although, you know what I missed? I missed this the the one twin and the set of twins in the fortune teller episode when someone's like, "Who here can earthbend?" and the one twin is like, "I can." The other twin is like, "I can't." And it's like, okay, I didn't add him. I didn't know his name.
I think that's a reasonable. I think that's a reasonable exclusion in my opinion.
He could have been number 1.
He could have been, but then he didn't do anything. So I don't know. I feel pretty good about him not being on the list.
Have you seen? You must have seen I've changed the rankings, not since we last talked, but I changed them from my initial one when I sent them to you.
No, at least not that I recall the differences.
Okay, good. You would have noticed. Anyway,
Chris, I'm gonna put the first 4 together because they all kind of fit in a similar slice of the show. So number 25 is Haru. Number 24 is Haru's dad. Number 23 is Big Bad Hippo. And number 22 is The Boulder.
Yeah.
That's your bottom 4 Earthbenders of all time ever. They're the worst. They should be ashamed of their existence. I'm embarrassed on their behalf.
I think The Boulder is actually probably whatever. You know, he's probably a decent one.
We're probably underselling him a little bit based on the intelligence
there's
appearance, you know.
There's 2 I didn't add, John. But they can probably go right over between the border. There's 2 pretty notable ones I didn't add because I'm trying to forget the names, but they are notable characters. I think
forget their names, but they are notable characters.
They're the 2 who kidnapped Toph, the teacher,
and the good wrestler.
Yes.
The ripped one. Okay.
He might be a little higher. So just think about those 2, and they're probably very close to each other. So just pencil them in somewhere in here.
I think that they are not. I think they're a little higher than right here, but not so much.
Yeah. No. They're I agree. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do 3 more. The next group of 3 is Iway. This one's my favorite. What? The average Daily agent. And Longfang is 19. So 21 Iway, 20 average Daily agent, 19 Longfang. I would say this is probably somewhere where you would throw in the teacher and the other wrestler also.
Yeah, I would probably put them above Longfang.
That's
It's
tough.
close.
I
I'm
think
alright.
it. I think
Okay.
it's the right ballpark, but I'd have to.
Actually, no. I think you're right. I think maybe right below Long Fei is where those two belong.
I think
Yeah,
those
I'm good
guys
with
would
that.
make good daily agents, right? So there's average daily agent, and then there's these guys who would be
Yeah.
slightly above average daily
Yes.
agents.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, any call outs on Iowa? I mean, the average daily agent, we're just looking at the sort of skill level with which they handle their craft and their
Yeah.
role, and it's pretty
They're
precise.
great.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any call outs on any of those in
Uh,
particular.
I've never really seen Iway. I don't know if I've ever seen him been anything, but he can truth see. He's a truth seeker or truth seer, as they said. He's still one of the second person able to do that.
And I think we're
I'll give him a little credit for
probably. I mean, he's low because we don't see it. I think you could probably make some reasonable assumptions about his general earthbending knowledge intact, but we don't see it, so
that. Yeah.
I think it's right.
He looks like
Um,
a wimp, honestly.
I'll slow down a little bit here because we start getting more interesting. Number 18 is Yang Chen and the other avatars. The other avatars who we do not explicitly name
Going,
otherwise in
yes.
the list.
Yeah. I'm talking about earthbending. Yeah, I don't remember anything from Yang Chen that I was just like, oh, that's a great thing of earthbending, or any of the other avatars. Quirk
I
is probably in this list. So
So
yeah.
I don't want to spoil with is who actually
Hmm.
shows up on the list later, but it feels low. But this is one of those where you have to give it the entire list to see where Chris has broken out other choices. So that being said, not a lot to say in that group. I don't think. Number 17, Wei and Win.
Yeah, Wei Win, two pretty great metal benders and earth benders. But they just don't have anything. They don't really show many great displays of power and strength. They seem, pretty knowledgeable, a little bit formidable, but I think other benders would beat them. In fact, maybe I have them too. No, they can metal bend and earth bend. I
No,
think
I
they're
think,
right where they need to be.
and they're educated in a bending
Yeah.
tactician sense. Number 16 is Aang. I think we see Aang, especially in the last episode, use some pretty
Ooh.
cool earthbending. Does his little rock shield thing. That's always fun.
Yeah,
Or
he
rock
became a
rush.
really great earthbender. He does know seismic sense, which is a earthbending sub technique. Um, so maybe I should have given him a little more credit for that. Uh, Aang is a really good earthbender.
Number 15 is Lek. I don't know if we
Lek,
settled on pronunciation. I've
yeah,
been calling him Lek.
might be Leek. I call him Lek also.
I,
Like
yeah,
we talk about long range precision, there aren't many earthbenders better than him.
he's a literal sniper, which is awesome. I know
Yes,
that's not
yeah,
the most impactful thing in the world, which is why he's at 15, but that's sick.
and I think that distinguishes him from the ones below him. Like he has a trait that is second to none,
Is
I would think.
essentially unique to him. He's the leader in his class. Chris,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to hold comment on the next one for a few steps. The next one is number 14 is Kyoshi. I'm going to hold commentary for a moment. Number 13 is Wong.
Mm.
You don't have to hold commentary on Wong. Tell me about Wong.
Okay.
Hold content on Kyoshi
uh,
only.
so Wong had he had precision, grace, and strength. Kyoshi has one of those three. She has strength, raw strength. Um, hmm. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Although one time Kyoshi almost she pretty much turned herself into a freaking drill and went through several like floors of a building. But she's more like she's just a huge freaking hammer.
So But listen, so number 12 is Korra. And so I just want to point out to you that you have the waterbender ranked as a better earthbender, and you had the earthbender ranked as a better waterbender. And in principle alone, feels outlandish to me. Uh, Kyoshi might be a one trick pony, but it is the best trick. It is the best trick that this particular pony could possibly do. So
uh,
that's tough, but it was mostly just amusing to me that we had them flip flopped in their respective bending fields. It's kind of
that's
funny.
funny.
Yeah,
That
it's
is funny.
amazing. Sorry, Korra and Kyoshi.
uh, um, yeah. So Korra is she's shown able to freaking lift huge freaking rocks. And we're talking about after our statement all these things. I don't know if we made that clear or not, but I think we did. Huge freaking rocks. She is able to metal bend, and she uses it with great skill. Like she kind of goes toe to toe with probably one of the greatest metal benders in Kuvira in that sense. So the metal bending is probably what separated her from Kyoshi. If we're just talking earth bending, Kyoshi might beat out Korra, but even that's really, really close. Like Korra's earth, Korra and Kyoshi's earth bendings are really, really close to each other. But but like I said, like Kyoshi's just raw strength, and Korra's is she knows metal bender.
I'm gonna butcher number 11. Do not know how to say it. Yaling, Yaling.
I didn't even want to put Yaling this high, but she went toe to toe with one of the greatest earthbenders. Like she doesn't have any particular feat beyond that. That I'm like, oh, she did this really, really great, or this great.
It
But she went toe to toe with one of the best earthbenders, and so it's like I sort of forced to put her this high,
I think
just from
the very
not the
limited
novels. The
negative sample kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you think about it being that high. But
yeah. Also, I just think maybe they're. I don't know if I like how that's written because nothing. Nothing. I just think to myself like they should have gave her. I would have liked if they would have made her a lava bender, which now makes me. I forgot. I am excluding the people in Toss class, but whatever. They're not even that noticeable either. They were metal benders again, not that noticeable. There's other lava bender that showed up in one of the novels, and I always forget who that person is. So forget them. um, but yeah, yelling is kind of just like just math for me. Like, all right, well, this equals this, so this has to be somewhere greater than these.
I think this list kind of turns a corner at 10, which is where we're at now, and goes from again that kind of uh, great to top tier. Number 10 is
Hmm.
Gazan.
Yeah, because on like when you think about the White Lotus, like Zuko was like separate. Each of these people could take out like a nation. Together, they could take out the world. Kazan took down the walls of Ba Sing Se.
Just
That
with his
says
literal bare hands, just dropped
yes,
him.
yeah. So that says something. He's a powerful lava bender. Um, he's also a great earthbender too. Like he's very athletic. Also, like he's a really great earthbender. He's not a one trick pony. I think he's pretty rounded. So yeah, so that's why he's fairly high.
Just a generally intimidating human. It seems like too. We had a discussion about flip flopping him with Bolin. A little bit of a discussion there in number 9.
Yeah. Bolin number 9. If Bolin has so many skills and traits, he's a great earthbender, really strong,
For some
really
reason, I thought you were
rooted.
going to say he's a great actor. Yeah, give him some props.
No. But he's also he learned lava bending, and I think his lava bending got a lot better in season 4. Like he was able to use lava bending. I want to say he was a better lava bender than Gassan in season 4. Like he uses it in a way like his long range attacks were so quick. Like he made freaking discs of lava that were like just hit people, bounce off people. Like
He
he,
reimagined what people knew about lava bending
yeah,
and how to use it.
yeah. So yeah, bowling really great.
Number 8 and 7 might be a disservice, and I don't intend it to be, but I'm gonna say them together. Is Lin Beifong and Suyin Beifong in that order? Number
It's
eight,
funny because I
Lin.
was like,
Number 7, Suyin.
I think I think at one point I had Lynn higher, but you're I don't know, you're cutting. I forget what that expression is. You're trimming
Splitting
hairs, cutting
hairs.
hairs, splitting hairs. That's the
Splitting
thing.
hairs.
Splitting hairs here. Both of them trained
My
by.
my gut instinct would be to put Lin above Suyin, but
So this is what put
you really
Lin.
are.
Oh, sorry. This is what put Su Yin above Lin for me. One of the greatest fights is Su Yin. One of the greatest animated fights is Su Yin versus Kuvira, and Su Yin is going toe to toe with Kuvira, who's one of the greatest metal benders. And so that what made me put her above Lin. And also, Su Yin's bending isn't so rooted. Like she's really flexible. She's way more, uh, way more agile than Lin Beifong is, which is oh my, it's so in their characters. Like, like she's way more flexible. Lin is not flexible. She's stubborn. Uh, but anyway, they're still pretty close.
Fair enough. I don't think you can really get too upset at either order that you want to put those in. Number 6, Yoon, the Earthbender. So good at
Ooh.
earthbending, people thought he was the literal avatar.
So good at earthbending, they thought he was a god.
They
Uh,
very sincerely did. I would say that's high praise.
so when we talked about Lek being one of the most precise benders, Yoon is up there, able to write words in with earthbending from a long distance away that are clearly eligible.
I love
Illegible.
that got me really hype really early in the book. That little
Yeah,
trick, a little something something.
yeah. And I'm not talking about Yoon mixed with Father Glowworm because that's on a whole nother level. Just him himself was such a spectacular earthbender, like I
Standing
said,
up to
that they thought he was the Avatar.
stand up to right. They didn't even bother like, hey, can you bend any other elements? They're like, no, look at that.
Yeah, nah, I just do earthbender.
Stand up to Tagaka. The
Yeah,
precision thing. He himself has got a good. I'm not saying a good sense of violence, but like he gives off a confidence that is a
yeah.
factor in and of
Like
itself.
it is. I feel like it is known that he is second only to his master when it comes to earthbending.
I
Oh,
agree.
but there's a great scene. It's a cut Yoon, and just in a split second, Yoon he hits like this tile thing that they were doing a peace treaty on. And he takes it to his palm and grabs the sword. Ah, yeah, Yoon's Yoon's great. Like he's underrated.
Agreed. Number 5, King
Ooh,
Boomy.
we're getting up there. One of King Boomy's greatest strengths is that he took back his city, and that well, there was a lot of literal heavy lifting going on there.
100-year-old, 110-year-old King Boomy.
Yeah, yeah.
After
And he can bend with just his face, which is
I kind of
that's on a level.
I
You
kind of
know,
forget that
only
as being
few.
like a factor, but that's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, there's only a few benders who can bend without moving their arms. That's Boomy and the Bond, I think. Yeah, like this is technically telepathic bending, is what they call it.
telepathic or telekinetic.
Telekinetic, sorry. Oh my gosh.
Think
I'm so mad at
telekinetic.
myself because people make that mistake all the time. There's two different powers. I hate when people are like, oh, Professor X has telekinesis. Like, no, he doesn't. He has telepathy. Two completely different things. He does not have telekinesis.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Like those college humor things with Pete Holmes, and like he does the one with like he does one with Magneto. It's like, oh, congratulations, you can move metal with your mind. Well, I can move everything with my mind. I'm like, no, you can't. You're not telekinetic. You're one of
I
the
haven't.
most.
I don't think I've seen those. I mean, I immediately just think of the Batman ones, but I don't know if I've seen that one with Pete
Oh,
Holmes.
he has a bunch of X-Men ones where Professor X just like he's like interviewing X-Men, like whether he should keep them or let them go. So he's like interviewing Wolverine. It's like, so your basic mutant power is that you have metal claws, and our arch villain is a person who can manipulate metal. Do you understand how dumb that is?
I haven't seen those. I'll
But
have to go watch those.
yeah, that's pretty good. They're not as good as the Batman ones, but they're pretty good. They're worth a watch.
The Batman ones ask the questions that we've always
Yeah.
all wanted to ask. Chris, it's very important. Number 4 is Kuvira. I think this is one we started one way and then we flipped to the other way between Kuvira and Boomy.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah. I think I originally had Boomy higher than Kuvira, and you steered me the other way, Shawn.
listen,
So
just
you go. I've been talking too much.
I know that we make, and we're trying not to make a whole lot of assumptions. I know we are making a lot of assumptions. I would assume with the prowess that Kuvira displays with metal bending on both a precision scale and a
Yeah.
size scale, and I think that would also translate most likely to regular earthbending as well. And so I just not head to head specifically, although I think she would also win head to head. But I think she just has a grander, bigger scale of power than a King Boomy or a Yoon. In fact, in my head, she's like a modern day Yoon. Like she's like Yoon plus Earthbending,
Ooh.
kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Uh,
Plus metal bending.
or sorry,
Uh
post metal. Yeah,
yeah.
I think
Kuvira's like her opening fight against those
the bandits.
scavengers, the
Yeah,
bandits, quickly showed me, oh, okay,
she's
she's
doing
the
that as like a
tough earth.
workout too, though.
Yeah,
Like she's not doing it for a challenge or for like that. It's training. It's a workout at best for her. I don't even,
I thought she was so confident she could beat Korra in the Avatar state.
the
Granted, she
gun.
probably knew Korra was rusty, and she probably had rumors of where Korra was at.
Yeah,
But she's not a person I don't think uh, overestimates herself. She's too uh, knowledgeable for that.
there's still like a grounded reality to her confidence. I don't think she can
Yeah,
get like can take all the credit for bending the mech, but I think it feels like a lot of it's on her shoulder for controlling the mech. So gonna give her some props for that too on a large scale. Yeah, Kuvira is stupid powerful, 100%. So, but there again, you could four,
ooh,
five,
we're gonna
six. If you flipped them all around or whatever, you could probably talk
yeah.
me into it regardless.
What's 4, 5, and 6 again?
6 was
Kavira,
Yoon,
Boomy,
5 was Boomy,
Yoon. Okay,
4 was Kuvira, and again,
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
mash those all
That's a
up, I
good.
would.
That's a good little group of them. Yeah, if you told me that you wanted Yoon at number 4 and Kuvira at number 6 and Boom at number 5. Like, all right, yeah.
I'd pretty much buy any of it that you pitched. I think, and I think, gotta be honest, Chris, I think the top 3 you could probably make really really good arguments for
Ooh,
anybody in the
top
top 3.
3
Top
is.
3.
I went back and I think I changed top 3 a couple different times when I was doing this.
I don't want
But
to
that's good.
I don't want to cut that next group out of the top 3 because it's a great group, but I think this top 3, when I'm glancing at the other lists, like man, this might be the toughest threesome to pick from. I think
Yeah. Well, yeah, because when we did water is so freaking easy. Because water is like a mon.
it just made
Check. Okay.
sense.
Who's the next most powerful bloodbender? Tarlok.
Air
Okay.
Air was top 2. That was problematic, right? We had, and even then, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it was super problematic. We just, like a good discussion. This is the
Hmm.
3 of them that feels like I don't even know what you do with them. But I think what you did, I think what you landed on here works for me. Chris, number 3 is Lao Gi, whose name
Mm,
again certainly butchering.
yeah, Lauga.
Lao
I think
Ge.
it's pronounced Lauga. Yeah,
Okay.
Lauga. Uh,
If he's out there listening
600,
to us right now, I'm so sorry.
600-year-old assassin. Like, he uses earthbending techniques
To
that are so on a molecular level.
He's
Like the way he
rebuilding
describes,
his own body.
yeah,
He's building his own
like,
organs.
the way he describes the Kyoshi is like you take yourself apart, you put yourself back together. Like, like what the? You
That's
do that continuously, you can live as long as I have. Like, I bet. I wonder if he's still alive.
is that he's Chris. That's why I said if he's out there listening to us today, because I believe he is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's like that's the personal maintenance facet or whatever. But we're also talking about a guy that's got 200 years of experience murdering people.
He might not be high enough. I think about it. The only reason why the other two I think I rate higher is that there are more displays of their strengths and like in the fights.
In a
Granted though,
grand scale.
Lauga, yeah, like Kyoshi watches Lauga fight and she's like, he looks like he's just playing with people. Like he's also so nimble, but deceptively nimble. I mean, yeah, there also aren't like feats of his strength that I can think about. That's probably why he's at 3. But yeah,
Yeah, there's some assumptions built in, but what we do know is awesome, frankly. Number 2, Jonju.
yeah. His name's the Gravedigger. Now, I know his name's the Gravedigger not necessarily just because of his earthbending, but because he manipulated people into killing them. He buried them, he made them in the graves, and then he just killed hundreds of people.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Uh, Jeonju, it's hard to like because so much part of his earthbending is his tactics, and there are few people more tactful than Jeonju. But he's also very, very powerful. Like though that group which we've done of Team Avatar is the number one group. Team Quirk's Team Avatar. All of them freaking head and shoulders above the benders of their generation. Um, but Jianju, there's I just can't imagine other benders better Earth than him.
He was essentially the best earthbender across 2 Avatar generations, which
Yeah,
um you get the grand scale.
like
Just you
like
get the grand.
Lex, like the Flying Opera Company were scared to death of him, and that's them.
So you get the precision and you get the grand scale. You get the mental side too. I mean, just he's a terrifying being. But Chris, I do feel like finally, after lots of controversial things, we got one here that's
Yeah,
gonna make the fans happy. It's gonna bring the fans back to the podcast. Chris, it's this pick right here, and that's because number 1 we put Toph. We put 100-year-old lady with seismic sense, with metal bending, with fantastic earth bending. She,
yeah. Uh, Toph, it's interesting. In that fight that Su Yin faces against Kuvira in the episode Operation Bayfong, Toph with a little bit of her strength, like stopped everyone from fighting. She was that powerful. Granted, I don't think she could consistently summon up that power, but I think that's a fraction of what she could have done in her heyday. And we talk about prodigies. Toph is probably the greatest prodigy of any element. Like with very little training, with training from animals, she was able to create 3 subsets of earth bending: truth seeing, seismic sense, and metal bending. That's at the age of 11 or 12.
Even in
Yeah, that's
in the Legend of Korra, even she sees, she still sees the metal remnants in Korra's body, the poison
yeah,
remnants in
yeah.
Korra's body that like
Yeah.
other practice metal benders can't see. So even
Uh,
little things like that, it's like that's 110-year-old or not 100. What is she? She probably 70, 70s,
oh, she's like 80.
80. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
80-year-old
Aang
Toph
was
who's
probably 83.
disconnected from the entire world, right? But like she finding stuff that other practice educated metal benders are missing. So
Yeah,
you get the
I
small.
will
They're
say
gonna get the
this
small scale and you get the
to
big scale.
I'll say this to hurt the feelings of or to make people mad. This is one of those cases where this isn't who I think would win in a fight. Because I think Toph would probably lose to both Jianju and Lauga.
I think that's fair.
Like I yeah, like
Those guys are
again, Lauga's
trained
a
killers.
yes, yeah. Uh, but Toph's ability to freaking transcend the practice of the element changed the world really. And also her power, her strength, even her precision put her the top of the top. Again, I think she loses in the fight to those two, but I think she is the greatest Earthbender alive. Which I haven't always like. I just I don't just automatically think that about Toph. I think some people overestimate Toph. Like Toph can be beat by like a lot of people. I think, like Toph against an Avatar, give me an Avatar, and even though people are like, oh, Toph, like I think some people overestimate Toph's strength. I think she can lose to several people. Um, but there's more to bending an element than being able to win fights. And she completely transcended the element with her skills and knowledge and power. So she has a lot going for her.
Chris, the three things that need to be on this list is obviously the badger moles,
Okay.
the sandbenders, and the worms from
Oh yeah.
Tremors movies. The worms from the Tremors movies were omitted from the list.
Hmm.
Um, but mostly the badger moles. Chris, where do the badger moles fall?
Badger moles. Badger moles.
This
They're
is
honestly
such a
worse than.
big list of great earthbenders. I think they're like better than Long Feng and maybe better than Yang Chen and the other avatars. You get to Wei and Win slash Aang
uh,
territory somewhere in there.
nah, I think there's absolute zero precision to the Badger moles. Granted, they have seismic sense, but they don't have like regular sense.
Okay.
Although that's not a thing against top. The Southwest.
Are they better than Wei? Are they?
uh,
Which would you rather have, Chris? The average Dai Li agent or a badger mole? Give me the badger
that's a
mole.
good question. That's like asking how many people do you think how many people do you think it would take to to take out a bear? Hmm.
Is it a
Yeah, that's
cocaine
a pretty
bear or a regular bear?
regular bear.
Regular bear. Uh, you know what?
Ugh, maybe 20.
I
Like, and they have knives. Give them just knives.
I think that
Because
a
I don't
badger
think
mole would ruin Long Fang. So I'm gonna say badger mole gets number 19. Long Fang gets bumped back to
yeah.
20.
Even Appa without bending. Although that's not earthbending. Yeah, sure. Put the badger over there.
It's very important stuff, I know. And sandbenders, you can be between Big Bad Hippo and Aru's dad. Extremely
Yeah.
important. Extremely
And
important.
honestly, yeah. Sandbenders, I'll put at like the ones we saw, put them above Haru's dad. Sure.
Boom. There we go. We did it.
I
Chris,
don't think I'm missing anybody else
you know what we missed in
notable.
the Airbender category was Momo airbending the rock
Hmm.
in front of the guards.
that
That's what we forgot. Chris, we're.
lemur, he's earthbending.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's earthbending. Oh, so he needs to be on this list, I guess. Yeah, Momo, you
Yeah,
can be in
sure.
the 20s also. For some reason, I was thinking he was airbending the rock. No, that's dumb, Shawn.
Now, where
That's
would you rank though, Shawn, the several Earthbenders who took the move a rock in the movie?
and oh yeah, those guys are last as a collective. Took like 18 of them to throw one rock. It took 18 Earthbenders 15 seconds to hurl a rock.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
gosh.
good for dead last to me.
You know what I'm tired of? So M. Night Shyamalan still defends that. Like, just own your losses, people. Like M.
Just
Night
cut it,
Shyamalan's like
learn
every now
from
and
it.
then. Yeah. Well, so M. Night Shyamalan's like every now and then I meet someone and they love that movie. Like,
Mm-mm.
no, just admit that you made a terrible movie.
No, you
Like
don't.
today.
You've never met one person, Mr. Shyamalan. Not one person.
Who said?
Your
Well, I was
mom,
thinking about today
your
because
mom told you did a good job, and that's who you're talking about right now.
I was thinking about that today because John, what's his name? It was Zima Luigi
Legazam,
from the first Mario movie.
Legazamo.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, I'm not watching that movie. Like, I'm an OG, like OG. I'm like, and also he was saying like they did cast like people of color, which okay, I'm laughing at that for some reason, even though but he made it seem like the Mario brothers are Hispanic. They're not. They're Italian. he he was just cast as it because people were just casting anyone as anything back then. Uh,
Yeah.
but
They is that what prompted Seth Rogen to say that it was the worst movie of all time?
and
That was like in my
then
Facebook
he'll
feed
still be
today.
like, and then like he'll be like, "No, man, I talked to people and they're like, yeah, man, that movie was good." And I'm like, you're lying.
I
No one
do.
thinks that Mario movie is good. It's a terrible movie.
I have one friend who adamantly defends his enjoyment of that movie, but then
And that is fine.
if you, I was
That's
gonna say, if you get him to specify, he'll say, no, obviously it's a horrible movie. Uh,
yeah.
I don't even think you would find that for the Avatar movie. I don't think you would find somebody that'd be like, oh, I enjoyed it. I get that it wasn't critically good. Where's that person? Who
I
is that
tried to
person?
lie to myself about that. I don't think I ever said it was good. I tried to lie to myself and say it was
To
okay.
if we find one person who enjoyed it, who didn't like, oh, I guess it was okay or whatever, like, no, but they enjoyed it, they would actively watch it again
Mm.
just for their own nostalgic reasons. I want to know that person when I hear their
Yeah.
story. I know, Chris, I also know it's gonna have like a horrible tie-in. They'd be like, yeah, that's the night I met my wife and we laughed at this bad movie. Like, it's gonna be something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um,
Oh, my dad. Never mind. I don't want to say anything to things that might be too.
um, but yeah, I listen. The new Mario Brothers movie looks great though, and no offense, Mr. Leguizamo, but I think it's probably a big improvement. That being said, this is Avatar: The Last Podcasters. My name's Shawn. That's Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. We've got not one but two more of these. We'll do Fire next week, which I think is going to be very intriguing from an
Mm.
argument kind of standpoint. And
It's
then
so weird because there's almost like a rock paper scissors aspect in some cases
there
where
is
it's like I don't know.
I
It's
have well, and I have the Fire list, so I've got some time to room. I've got several weeks to kind of ruminate on it,
yeah, good.
But we better get
Yeah.
it right because there's some. I think that one's going to be heated, pun intended. And then after that, we will do the non-benders, which obviously is
And I'm
sort
not
of a
sure.
different.
Yeah, yeah, that one's interesting. And I'm not sure with firebending if anyone can take me off number one. I don't know if you can convince me for number one. And I won't say what that is, but I'm pretty confident in it for some reason.
Mm,
But we'll see.
yeah, like I said, we've got some time to throw some ideas back and forth. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll put the stuff down in the description, like always, and we'll see you next time.
That's just me being cold. How long would